of goods, of vacations, tourism, and so on. So they services and so on. So for them it was no good thing to do. But still they accept European Union because they really were given something very substantial by the European Union or by the EEC, the forerunner of the European Union. They were given roads. Spain was always had problems with economy, always had problems with their separatisms and so on. And in this net of wonderful roads that were built by European money, they saw a chance, and very rightly so, of a great development, great prospects in the future. And partly, in a big part, it was all realized. And the Spaniards are forgiven for their very huge pro-Europeanism, because they really got something when the EEC had something really. So we can see that the Spanish case is not typical, but because the EEC had some money back then and really could give something and gave something. We could argue about, for instance, the foreign contra when it comes to, I know, some other countries that joined the European Union on the forerunner of the European Union later, and this is a very doubtful thing if the European Union more gives than takes. But in Spanish case, it gave much more than took away. Okay, maybe now, and that's why the Spaniards have more patience when it comes to the European Union. They want to be very important were in the European Union. They don't want to go out of the European Union. They had some reservation about NATO, but not about the European Union, which is not typical. It is not typical state of mind. Okay, they were described by my students as patient all along. Well, the Spaniards are very they sometimes are very patient, like monks, and they even they were so Catholic in the 16th century that even the El Escorial is also a convent, not only a palace. So they were very religious, very patient sometimes, but in the same time they were very impatient when it comes to heretics. For instance, when it comes to the Dutch. That's why the Netherlands used to belong to Spain. But then the Dutch revolted because the Spaniards were very impatient with the heresy, Protestant heresy. Okay, they were described, when it comes to good stuff, they were described by students as musical, as easygoing, as they have very good climate, which is true, but it's not a stereotype, it's only an observation that the dance is very big in Spain. Dancing is very big in Spain, and not only flamenco, which is the most famous, but it's not typical for Spanish culture. More typical for Spain culture is zarzuela or fandango, but it's true. Dancing is big in Spain, and it was always so. And this dancing, this musical culture, is because when you are asked to name one Spanish composer, right? Famous composer. There were some, of course, very good one, but for instance Joaquin Rodrigo or Manuel Falla when it comes to 20th century, or Juan Cabanilles when it comes to, or Antonio Soler when it comes to 18th century and so on. So you can Fernando Sor in 19th century, but on 19th century, but only the experts or people interested in music like I am can name those, and people just like who would name already Bach and Mozart and when it comes to Franz Berlioz and so on. So it's a problem with Spanish, because the Spanish approach to music is more popular. It's also the same with comida, with food, because they don't like this very upper classy thing when it comes to music, they want to keep music a little bit down, a little more popular, a little bit more average. And so they are big in dancing music. And for instance, Fernando Sor and Antonio Soler, and in the Renaissance time, Francisco de la Torre, for instance,